Right, this is now about take 8. As I kept drying up, wasn't sure how to start it, so I'll just get on with it. This is the Socrates passage that we looked at in class but ran out of time. So I thought I'd go through the whole thing. It's exercise 826 if there was any doubt about that. The good thing about this approach is that you can just pause me and go and get a cup of tea or something, and I come back when it suits you. And if I've not explained something that you can understand first time round, you can just go backwards, hopefully, and think, what on earth is he saying there? Oh yeah, I see now. The good thing also is that I can play around with the screen so that we can focus on certain words or clauses as it suits. So that should help you focus on what I'm saying. There's no doubt how we kick off. There's Socrates. By the way, you've got a de there, hot de, Socrates. You don't really need to bother about the de. The Greeks used it more as a sort of punctuation mark to say, this is a new sentence, this is a new passage. You can just leave it out. Unless there's a men, and then a de following, you can very often just leave the de out. So, Socrates was. He was two things, both superlative. Interestingly, the first word is a more or less regular superlative, sophotatos. The second word is one of those irregular superlatives, aristos. So you've got agathos, which means good. You've also got kalos, which means fine. Both of them can have aristos as their superlative, as in aristocracy, of course. Of course, let's not forget, with these little annoying particles, we can't afford to leave them out at GCSE. So he was both wisest and best, ton tote Athenaion, of the Athenians, tote, at that time, of those days, of long ago. Anything like that is fine. And you've got to get used, as I've said many times before, you've got to get used to the fact that the tone embraces the tote. Therefore, the tote is connected with what comes before and after, as a sort of mini package for you to translate. Right, let's go on to the second sentence. Epistates, it tells you in the vocab at the bottom that it's a leader or chairman, and leader of the ecclesia, of the assembly, once being. And being once leader of the assembly, ouk erthelese. I think the big challenge in Greek is to understand how a verb that you recognise, that you learn as the present tense in the vocab list, changes then when you see it in the aorist, because that's the most common representation of any verb. So you've got the verb ethelo, starting with eta, and then of course in the aorist that becomes an erta. Did not wish. You did not wish to do something, so you find the infinitive. That's paithesthai there. That's a deponent verb, and it means obey. It takes the dative, and you can see toi dermoi. He did not wish to obey the people. The next two words, hos boulomenoi. Well, hos can mean with a participle on the grounds that. That doesn't really help you translate, as I've realised since I tried to get you to translate it as on the grounds that. You should be able to see that boulomenoi agrees with toi dermoi. So he did not wish to obey the people as wishing. So Boulamai is I wish or I want. Boulomenos is the present participle. The fact it's in the dative is just to link it to toi dermoi in the reader or listener's mind. So literally, as wishing, once again, if you've got ethelo, you've got to have an infinitive. There's the infinitive, peithesthai. If you've got boulamai, which is more or less a synonym, then you've got to find the infinitive. And there's apoktenein, to kill. As wishing, to kill. After to kill, you need an accusative, surely. It can't be tous nomus, because that's part of para tous nomus, against the laws. To kill, octo strategus, 8 generals. Para tous logus, let's get that out of the way, contrary to the laws. And then 2 words, both in the dative, miai, zerphoi. Now, there's a real problem with the Greek word for one. You'd think that would be the simplest numeral of all. It's not. It's the most complicated numeral of all. Because if you look it up in the vocab, you'll see heis. Heis means one. And then, weirdly, in the feminine, it goes to mia. In the neuter, it then becomes hen. Heis, mia, hen. Henna, mian, hen. And then henos in the genitive, mias, henos. And then in the dative, heni, miai, heni. Fortunately, there's no plural. Please don't ask me why not, because that would not reflect well on you. Okay, so to kill 8 generals in one vote, contrary to the laws. So there we go. Next sentence. Tois Athenaios Niker. Literally, there was to the Athenians victory. If tois Athenaios is a predicative dative, then you can just say the Athenians had a victory. In what? In a sea battle. When? Previously. Okay, this was the Battle of Arginusae, where the generals led the Athenian fleet to victory, but then in the terrible storm conditions that followed, they didn't pick up some of the Greek sailors who'd been shipwrecked and cast overboard. Okay, hutoi, mentoi, hoi, strategoi. Okay, let's look at all that then. So, hutoi, mentoi, hoi, strategoi. It would be easy to think that mentoi is somehow agreeing with hutoi and hoi, strategoi. It's not. Mentoi just means however. It's nothing to do with what's around it. It goes second word. Yeah, it's the same as de. It's just a synonym of de. But the words that do go together are hutoi, hoi, strategoi, these generals. These generals, however, if you want. Uk hoioi tersan, were not able. And we then go into a genitive absolute. Everything's in the genitive. Megalou, kemonos, genomenu. We have to translate as a sort of ablative absolute, with a great storm having arisen. Gignomai is I arise, occur, happen, become. It's connected to the word gene, genesis, genetic, etc. It has a strong aorist, genomen. Strictly genomenu, which is the most common form that you'll see, this participle, not this case, genomenos. That strictly means with a great storm having arisen. If you say arising, it really isn't that important, but strictly it is the aorist participle. So let's think. Just as we had earlier boulomenos as a deponent participle, present tense. So we've also got genomenos, but this time it's a strong aorist participle. Okay, so tous athenaious now agus sois dein. Okay, so we've had once again hoioi tersan, a verb that must have an infinitive after it, with it, accompanying it, just like possum. So, in Latin, hoioi tersan, uk hoioi tersan, they were not able sois dein to save tous athenaious nauargus, the Athenian shipwrecked sailors. Diadatuto ebouleto hodemos. Now, one thing you really mustn't do is get all confused by the fact that hodemos is the nominative. You can tell from the definite article. Therefore, that's in charge of the verb. It cannot mean, because of this, he wanted the people. No, he didn't. The people are the nominative. The people wanted. What did they want? Once again, we find the infinitive. They wanted kolasdein, to punish. They wanted to punish pantas. Well, we know pas a pan. Therefore, we know pantas is accusative masculine plural. Pantas homoios, sorry. So they wanted to punish everybody equally. I'm going to stop there. I'm only halfway. It's just that I think this app that I'm using only allows me 15 minutes, so I'm not going to be able to finish it in one go. So I'm going to call an end to this and come back with a second video. So just be patient. See you in a mo.